Hey there folks, this is a Dark Knight up to level 50. This is Shadowbringers 5.0. At level 45 we get Dark Mind, reduces magic vulnerability by 20%. It is instant cast with a 60-second off global cooldown and lasts for 10 seconds. So it's basically straightforward. The ability itself is straightforward, but how it affects the fight is kind of a strange situation. If you really don't know the fight and you don't know if the enemy is about to do magic damage, I suggest just popping this along with any other mitigation ability. If you're up against a boss, just pop this and maintain some kind of cooldown on you. Otherwise, if you really don't know the fight, the best time to pop this is during a stack mechanic. The second time is basically during a tank buster. Typically most tank busters are kind of half and half, either physical damage or magic damage. If the target has some sort of AoE room-wide mechanic, that's also a good time to pop your Dark Mind alongside with the reprisal, of course. But basically, just kind of toss cooldowns, maintain cooldowns on your character. That's the best way to kind of do these cooldowns. But this is what it looks like. So this is marked Dark Mind. This used to be effective with Dark Arts, but now it's just another cooldown we pop. I found at level 50, pretty much the only reason I do these for tank guides at level 50 is because of the invuln. I popped it recently doing a dungeon, so I can't really show you, but it looks it looks very dark and fancy. So Living Dead has two phases. It's got the Living Dead phase and the Walking Dead phase. It's pretty easy. Most people pop their Living Dead and they stay in Living Dead phase until it expires, because there's really no need for you to use this in the lower level dungeons, which is typically anywhere below level 70. You really have no reason to pop this. Maybe sometimes level 60, but it is instant cast with 300-second off global cooldown. It's pretty long cooldown. Now the effect of Living Dead is as long as you're above critical health, as long as you don't hit 1 health, or as long as you don't take fatal damage that might kill you, this won't pop. Living Dead will just stay on your hotbar, stay on your status, and it won't do anything. But if you do take fatal damage, if you do take damage that will kill you, the Walking Dead will kick in. While you're inside the Walking Dead, now both of these have 10-second timers. Now while you're inside the Walking Dead, if you do not get topped off, if your health doesn't go from a big gap, you have no health, to 100%, your healer has to top you off completely, you will die for sure, dead. Now there's two ways to die from this ability: prematurely not popping the Living Dead. Basically the Walking Dead is still on you, the buff is still on you, and your health does not go to the threshold of activating the Walking Dead, the second phase. That's the first way to die. The Living Dead popping too soon and then your health depleting to critical point, yeah, that's the first way to die. The second way to die is not being topped off, obviously. If you're playing a healer, I mean, you see my guides, just go ahead and look through those, but typically just anything that has the most amount of mana that recovers the most amount of single target. For white mages, Benediction, that's the best time to pop it. Typically around 2 to 3 seconds, you can go ahead and just pop Benediction. Or if you're scared, just go ahead anytime their health, the Dark Knight's health has a big gaping blackness, just pop it. You'll be fine. So mana management on this job is pretty much 50% of the job's criteria. You manage mana, and you manage it pretty well. Just make sure you keep your dark side on you at all times. As soon as you engage the fight, boom, dark side, or use your single target edge of darkness. Just maintain that helmet's timer indicator. Make sure it's light up. You'll notice how you're about to expire when the helmet starts to kind of glow red. It starts to blink red. That's when you need to pop another one, and that's also a good indicator that you're burning mana, you're not using it. The second thing about this job is pretty much what I've told you guys on the warrior guide. See how it's kind of glowing red there, kind of blinking red? Yeah, that means you're about to lose out on MP and also the damage bonus. Cooldown management. The same thing that I told you guys about Warrior. Make sure you maintain cooldowns. 2 targets if there's plenty of mobs on you, or just 1 target management. You're just going to grab 1 cooldown at a time. It is going to be the Wanderer's Palace. Right off the bat, let's get Grit going. We'll pop a item for experience. I should have done my AoE there, but I haven't played Dark Knight in a while. Just grab most mobs here, and then I'm going to pop my Shadow Wall into arm's length. Line them up. Now that I've burned some mana, let me pop my blood weapon here. Now remember, blood weapon doesn't affect multiple targets. It only affects the activation of the weapon skill or the spell. That's pretty good for AoE so far. If I had more targets there, I would obviously pop either my Invuln if I ran out of health, or I would continue to pop something like Rampart, or any of these two, honestly. There weren't that many targets, so no need to pop that much. Let's continue on here. This time I'm going to pop my Rampart. Should be good. Try not to burn your mana completely. So let me pop a low blow here, reprisal, something to minimize the healing on the healer. Pop another Dark Arts ability. What was that called? The Flood of Darkness. Now the issue about the Invuln for Dark Knight is typically if you're running through MSQ content, people don't want to see your health fall below 30%. They freak out if they do that, if they actually do see that. I'm going to get my Shadow Wall here in a second. So the odds of you having to use those in a fight are pretty low because the healers will try to frantically bring you back up to health. So the odds of me having to use that here is very low. And even if I use it, it probably won't drop any low. But later on, once you get into the higher tiers, you can try that. Just make sure you have a backup once your health, once you're in the aggressive phase of the Living Dead, which is the phase where the healer has to bring you back up to full health. We're coming up against a boss fight here. Instead of using our Flood of Darkness, we're going to use our Edge of Darkness. We're just going to unmend into Edge, and that should do. Let me wait till the rest of the party. You can do it twice. Make sure you get that weapon skill in first. As soon as I see a Casper, I'm just going to pop a cooldown. Something indicated towards me. Let's get that blowing weapon going. Let me pop another Edge of Darkness there. If you're doing MSQ content, as long as the healer is doing a decent job, you probably won't even need to pop a cooldown, unless you know the Tank Buster. That's typically where you pop a cooldown. There's no need for even reprisal, so I guess it's just on your own experience and your item level. That's a pretty good example so far. I mean, it pretty much explains everything. The only issue that I would have is your Invuln having to be situational, and most people don't really have a good time to pop it. But anyways, we'll see you on the next Dark Knight guide up to level 60. It should come out soon. I just need to get some of the other jobs up to level 70.